Hi girls and guys, kings, queens, all the welcomers of the kingdom. You are invited to heaven by this transmission. Take it or leave it. The only way you cannot get into heaven is if you feel any ego resistance. But as long as there's humility, surrender, and trust, you are allowed into the kingdom of God. And with that new intuitively improvised intro, today, we're gonna help you manifest more of everything your heart's desires by exploring the concept of shame. And I know that you don't want to explore shame. I know that you just want to have the epic relationship, the epic romantic experience, the epic amount of wealth in your bank account. You just want to have it all. And that's okay, because it's our human nature. We want to expand, and there's nothing wrong with wanting all the good things in life. But the only way you can quantum jump into all the good things if you feel stuck is exploring your unconscious, exploring the roots of the beliefs that are still creating undesirable results. Because everything that you see and experience in the field of consciousness is a direct reflection of your beliefs about yourself and the beliefs you have about another. In the absolute scheme, there are no others. scheme of things, in the absolute knowingness, conviction, there are no others. Everybody's just inside of your consciousness. And funny story analogy, I was in France, in Paris, a couple of months ago. Amazing. I was able to spend like 2 months there. So beautiful. And I was with one of my friends, really close friend of mine, that we are in a similar field of awareness. So when we join together, our merged field is so potent and so high frequency that when I'm with him, it feels like I know this and I experience it sometime by myself because I get glimpses of higher levels of enlightenment. But when I'm with him, it's like the whole world is inside of me, and it just moves up to my crown, down to my feet, up to my crown, down to my feet. And every single person that is in my field of awareness is just there because I have placed them there. I don't know if you've seen the movie Vanilla Sky, when Tom Cruise is in the bar and then there's these angels or these interventionists, they call it support, but it's actually his divine guardian angel, and intervenes in the scene of the bar. And he's like, the people in the bar are only here because you want them there. And then he stops thinking about the people in the bar, and then they pause and they freeze. And then in that movie, it's a clear reflection of what I'm trying to convey, that reality is a reflection of your beliefs. So if you want to get the house, the car, the money, the career, and even progress into full-blown enlightenment, you need to work with the things that you don't want to look at. Like all those elements of contraction, or all those relationships that still you don't want to see, why you're judging, why you're resenting, why you haven't forgiven. True forgiveness, true self-acceptance, true honoring yourself and others, true humility, through bumping yourself to your own beliefs and reflections over and over, is that you're going to override those timelines and finally crystallize more of what you already are. You're already enlightened. You're already present. You're already in the non-dual state. It's just the clouds that block the light and the sun from shining through. But for you to allow the sun to shine through, you must remove the weeds and the roots of what's not allowing you to be in your highest frequency. And if your highest frequency involves millions of dollars, involves infinite abundance in romantic connections and relationships as friendships, it involves you being in, I don't know, the most yummiest ultimate frequency, you living in your dream house, involves, I'm just telling you all the things that human ego usually wants. But there's also misconceptions of, if I'm supposed to be a sage and I'm a spiritual being, then is it wrong if I want all those things? No, I'm here to tell you that it's okay to have a balance between the spiritual and the material. You can be a modern sage. So no guilt, no shame. Own your desires and suppress your desires. Know your worth, know your infinite value. But now let's explore shame. Shame in the Map of Consciousness by David Hawkins calibrates at 20, one of the lowest frequencies. There with apathy, with grief and fear. Shame is anything that you have done in the past or even in previous lifetimes that caused you to judge yourself, contract, and feel like you are not worthy of being seen. Because you're so shameful. If somebody knew that I did this, if somebody discovered that I was a rapist in my past life. Like, I'm going really deep into things that we could have done in previous lifetimes that we carry now in our cellular body. If somebody knew how many people I killed, if somebody knew how many money I stole in past lifetimes, oh my God, these are beliefs that even if you don't know it, they can be stored in your cellular memory, and you chose this lifetime to clear up those beliefs and to forgive yourself. So if in this lifetime you get scammed, you don't find, it's not easy for you to make money, you seem to always get not cheated on, hilarious. Your partner usually cheats on you. I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, that's hilarious. You know what I mean. Has affairs or whatnot. If you always crash your car, in a past life, you were doing that. So now you're choosing to experience yourself through those reflections. If you're robbing the street, if somebody in your timeline does something unfair, be happy, because you are paying off the karmic debt. You are creating karmic merit. So every time a situation happens to you, it happens for you. For you to override that frequency, learn the divine test and the lesson, pay the karmic debt, and then you ascend to higher realms of heaven. So if you go through a situation that you think it's like a bummer, or it's like, oh my God, why this keeps happening to me? No, stop being a victim. Thank you that this is happening to me, because that way I get to learn more about myself. And that's the beauty of A Course in Miracles. When you forgive another, the person that scammed you, raped you, betrayed you, was, I don't know, like the worst thing that you can have, is stole all your money. Like, when you forgive them, you're forgiving yourself. You're freeing yourself through that forgiveness, because in the absolute, there's no separation. That person is you. Even if you're like so shameful to believe, you know what, I was a serial killer, maybe 10 lifetimes ago. It's so shameful to believe that I stole all that money. It's so shameful to believe that, I don't know, I was an asshole in a past life. Okay, cool. Now you reincarnated in this lifetime to clear that up and to own your divinity. You didn't know any better. Every time you commit an act that seems like, oh, that was so bad, it comes from the innocence of the inner child that was in fear. So you, in that previous lifetime, out of innocence and out of inner child naivete, and thinking that you didn't have any power because you're all powerful with God, in alignment with divine will, you committed those subtle sins, but you are forgiven. God loves you. But now, do you forgive yourself? And if you forgive yourself from every ounce of your being and your cellular memory, again, the beauty of forgiveness and A Course in Miracles, and why do I suggest it deeply? Because it does rewire your consciousness into tricking any part of yourself that still shames you. And if you find people in your field, in your life, that keep shaming you too, and you contract, remember, that's you using them as empty vessels to reflect back at you where you still need to love, forgive, accept yourself. And when you love, forgive, and accept yourself, God has already forgiven you. As David Hawkins says, you only need to have a decent regret and choose differently. So every moment, life is going to throw back at you all the tests of the things that in the past or even previous lifetimes you commit or did not commit or whatnot, to see how you're going to respond to life. The only thing you can control and you have power over is how you respond to life, based on your integrity, in your values, and your principles. So if the test presents itself and you respond differently, you pass the test with excellence and you jump into a higher timeline. So the whole purpose of Earth, or this existence, is for you to learn the lessons, learn the test, and expand and get to higher and higher levels, just like playing Mario Kart. You know, you are the driver of the ship. That's the ego. You should put yourself in the back seat, let God drive, let divine will, and let life throw at you the test and build the muscle strength to pass those tests with excellence. So you build momentum with your spirit and your soul, and you can actually free yourself. And now you're in salvation, you're in heaven. And every single experience you have now then comes from co-creation, harmony, heaven and earth. Everything you meet is a reflection of the infinite love, forgiveness, understanding, and abundance that you are. And if that means epic relationships, romantic experiences, wealth, investments, that is a reflection of God in your field. And if that means something different for you, being this amazing dad, this amazing mom, being the CEO of your company, doing amazing in your work, even if it's the corporate ladder, if that excites you, then that's your path as your modern sage. The modern sage doesn't have to look like the epic movie star. The modern sage is your version of heaven on earth. But for you to experience your highest timeline and your version of manifesting your deepest and yummiest desires, you gotta look at the things that you're still shameful about. So I'm gonna leave you with these questions. Even if you can't remember, even if it's something that happened 20 lifetimes ago, ask your cellular memory, ask your nervous system, what part of myself do I still hold shame onto? What aspect of myself do I feel really hard to accept? Which people in my field or characters in movies do I shame or judge? Because that's a reflection of where you judge and shame yourself. What is that lie or that little thing that I did that I'm like, oh, if somebody knew that secret, nobody would love me? Where in my chakras do I feel contraction? Those are the questions that are going to reveal to you what do you need to process, what do you need to heal, and what do you need to work on. And work doesn't have to be tedious. It can be fun, exciting. It's a divine game. Don't take it so seriously. The worst case scenario is meeting more of yourself and you burn karma more quickly and then you liberate yourself faster. So go to your worst fear, your worst case scenario, and then you're free. You're free because you are fearless. You become embodied power of divine will, God, divinity, and you can face any situation with a smile. So last question. What is a part of myself that I can seem to love? Maybe I accept it. Maybe I'm like, oh, but it's so hard for me to love. That's what you need to look at. Okay. Well, catch you later. I love you.